It says right here that our next guest is one of the real heroes. Jesus, I think he wrote this too. It's Paul Wernick. Our next guest was in a dream I had last night where he told me I was cast in Zombieland 2. It's Rhett Reese. Our next guest will be up as soon as she's done finishing her tweet. It's Brianna Hildebrand. Next is the man behind that lovable hunk of Soviet metal. It's Stefan Kapnick. She is the luckiest person in the world because she gets to be friends with me. It's Zazie Beetz. Our next guest can be described as the most selfless person in Hollywood. I'm sure he definitely maybe remembers who I am. We all want to be just friends with him. It's Ryan Reynolds. It was either that or I was going to list Ryan Gosling credits. So just if that didn't work for you. Yeah. So I actually did want to start with Ryan because he's the most famous person on the stage. Ryan, I've not talked to you about this before, but I just wanted to do it in front of everyone. I wanted to apologize for being really basic around you while filming Deadpool 2. What happened was, I didn't know what to expect when we did the first movie, and I was blown away by our performance. And I think everyone who worked on the first movie was like, I think we're part of something really special. And I saw the movie and I was like, I guess Ryan Reynolds is one of my comedy heroes now. And then going into the second one, I was so starstruck around you, and you would make a joke, and I would think of like a few responses, and they'd all not be worthy of your time, so I just wouldn't say anything. And so when they asked me to do this panel, I was like, absolutely not, this is my personal nightmare. But then, I was like, maybe this is my only chance to show you that I have a personality, so just know that I've had life experiences that I'm too scared to share it in front of you. On that note, I think...
Well, there was obviously huge expectation when I came on board this movie because the first one was the phenomenon that it was. But I think having the action background, I mean, the things that I wanted to play with was Deadpool's powers and have fun with that, and like his healing factor and how like crazy can we go, and trying to take it to this level of creativity. You know, we tear him in half, we break his arm, we, you know,
yeah,
he goes out, so you know, it's fun.
So who would win in a fight? John Wick, Deadpool, or Jonah Hex? Be honest.
Wow. The audience, really. Wow. It's like a hard. Well, I was gonna. Any answer is a sellout, man.
All right.
No, Deadpool obviously has the healing factor.
All right.
He's always in the game. He was ripped in half.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is so
strong answer. Yes. Strong answer. He's always in the game. He's a lot like Ryan. He's always in the game.
So what we just saw was an alternate version of a scene that ended up in the movie, but what we're about to see is a scene that was never in the movie, right? And there's a lot of that in the super duper cut.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to give you as much of the material that we left behind, and so the super duper cut has not only all jokes in most of the scenes, it has some great additional scenes that were left on the cutting room floor, and not because we didn't love them, it's just like Ryan was saying, when we're putting the movie together, it has an ebb and flow, and you end up with a cut that's really working, and you know. But then when I watch this one, I'm like, shit, this one works really well too. So you never know. We're so glad that you get to see this stuff.
Yeah. All right. That sounds like a setup to me. All right, Blind Al, let's do it.
My favorite movie. So.
All right, Brianna, Stefan, we've been through this shit show before. What was the experience different for you guys on the second one compared to the first one?
The moment I stepped into the trailer, I was like, we have a lot of money now. Jeez. No, but I mean, that aside, which obviously was a plus, it was really cool to get to work with, you know, a lot of new cast and you know, a lot of new people in general actually were like on the crew. And although some of them were the same, but most of them were different, and that was cool. It was like, but it was like the same feeling though. It was kind of strange, like kind of all new people, but something about like the heart of the film brings the same kind of energy to the set. I don't know. That may just be Ryan bringing that energy to the set. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Well, for me, everything was unbelievably amazing. You know, working with David, Ryan, of course, and with everybody else. Well, we brought a new levels with Colossus. I had a chance to fight Juggernaut. Yeah. I got a chance to say, pick on someone your own size. This is one of the things I always wanted to say. And of course, we had this F moment for Colossus, who doesn't swear, but he did it. Yeah, so there are like so many unbelievable things, and I really want to thank this amazing team for everything. Thank you guys. And thank you, because you made this happen. Thank you.
This is just a general Colossus question that's in my mind. Why does he wash his hands if they're made out of metal?
Well,
Germs?
germs.
Yeah. Safety
Right.
first. Safety first.
I'm learning so much. Rhett and Paul, I love the idea that Deadpool 2 was kind of this family film. And
Standing, and more importantly, who tastes the best?
You're like the eighth person
This
that's
sounds like danger.
You're hired. You're hired.
This
Yeah.
sounds like a dangerous question.
It really sounds like a dangerous question.
Yeah.
It's right up there with that awful fuck, marry, kill question that people love. I've got a lot of give up in life, so if we're in a survivor situation,
You
let's
first.
give up and die, and you
Okay.
guys can feast.
And
Yeah,
I
you're
can
the only one
attest
rooted
that
up to
Rhett
die of
doesn't
natural
taste
causes.
delicious.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I just say we all just eat each other in like a feeding frenzy, you know, all at once. Just see who walks out
Battle
strong.
royale of
Yeah. I think that's good. I think that's how we're gonna.
That's it.
It's gonna go down. We'll film it and we'll send it directly to your whatever website you run. Yeah. All right.
okay, who's next?
Hi, I'm Katie. Thank
Hi, Katie.
you all for being here. So this question can be for any or all of you. In Deadpool, he has an aha moment of realization that shapes the rest of the movie. So what's one of your aha moments in life that shaped your life?
Wow.
Deep thoughts.
Well, we have a wonderful aha song in the movie.
Yes.
Take on me. I don't know. A big moment for me, I think, like, if I'm to separate it from like family, which is obviously the more important stuff, you know, whatever. Like in terms of the career moment, for me, it was probably, you know, I worked in a certain comic book movie before, which you may or may not. And there's a moment where you think, okay, I've been trying for 10 years to get this one made, and then somebody finally says yes. And you're going, I need an adult diaper right now, and I don't know if I want to do that. You know, it's a scary moment to sort of take that leap and go, okay, I'm gonna jump back into this, you know, incredibly scary place again. So for me, that was a big moment where, you know, my wife Blake jumped in and was like, you've got to do this movie. You've been trying to get this movie made for since before I was born. So go. And Godspeed. And I did, and it was the best decision I ever made in terms of career stuff. So yeah, that's a big one.
Anyone else have aha moment?
Aha moments? No?
I had a breakfast burrito I ate yesterday.
It's pretty amazing.
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, washing my hands. This is a thing that I will do after tonight. Yeah. Next question.
With the soap dispenser?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just
Oh my
filmed.
God. Ryan, I just want to say I love you and I love Deadpool and the movies also.
Thank you.
And now I have like an entertaining question for you.
Excellent.
What do you hate more, Green Lantern or X-Men's Origins?
Both have kind of been like an endless wellspring of awesome jokes for Deadpool, so I can't say I hate either of them. I actually sort of love them both. But honestly, they were both amazing experiences to work on those movies. I had a ball shooting them. You're in an incredibly fortunate position to be able to shoot any movie, let alone one those size. But no, they're both pretty bad. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. It was entertaining, thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Dominique. The movie was great. Ryan, why are you so fucking cool? I'm gonna give you a hug. I'm sending you my hug.
Oh,
Anyways,
thank you.
my question is, what are you and the missus watching on Netflix? What are you guys binging on?
Wow, that's a. What are we watching right now? Well, it's not. Does it have to be Netflix? Do we have to do an ad for Netflix? Love and the Handmaid's Tale. I wish there were more. We just watched the last one. Yeah, I don't know. I've been on like a weird movie tour. You ever do those where you like I'll just like watch every Quentin Tarantino movie or every like Don movie or every So I've been kind of doing that. My wife's been shooting a film overseas, so I've been having a ton of time to pretend like I'm watching the kids. So yeah. Yes, done. Filing papers as we speak. As we speak.
All right, what's next?
Hi, I'm Whitney Elaine Wegman, and my question is this. What is the best piece of advice you've been given about being in the entertainment industry, and who gave you that advice?
I got mine ready to go. But
You have to answer every question.
What? Jump in if you want. I don't. No, go. Okay. The best piece of advice I ever got was I used to do a television sitcom called Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. On that show, I moved to Los Angeles to do improv comedy. That was my dream, but it obviously doesn't pay anything. In fact, it costs money to do. So I needed to get a job, and I got this amazing job, which felt like a blend of both of those things, which was a sitcom, this incredible show. But I found myself like kind of holding back a lot in the first couple episodes of that show. And the guy who ran that show was named Danny Jacobson, and he said something to me that I'll never forget, which has served me so well. He said, you know, it's okay, you can go out there, it doesn't make you an asshole if you take the stage. Meaning, like, go out there and just give it your all. Take that stage, like, you own it. It doesn't, and I was very kind of Canadian about it all. I was always sort of like, oh, sorry, you're lying, go ahead. But he sort of really helped me learn that the two are not the same thing. So I can go out there and have fun and sort of do my thing and do it as well as I can and not really have to apologize for it because that's what we're all here to do. So that for me was the best advice I ever got. Yeah. Take the stage.
No one else?
Oh, that's it. Wow. All right.
Taking that advice.
You're like stage guys.
All right, what's next?
Hey, how you doing? My name's Antonio. I'm from Mexico. And Ryan, my girlfriend, my siblings, my mother, everybody loves you, and everybody else.
They're all different people, correct? For sure. And sometimes when you see them back in print, it's not what you said, right? Okay.
Well, I have a question. Having the chimichanga-loving bird with a mouth be represented by an actor from Van City truly gives authenticity to the character. Would you be willing to help position a Mexican superhero from Mex City who loves beaver tails and maybe put that into the pop art world?
That's you, isn't it? You're that guy. Tony, you're the guy. For sure, of course. I mean, I like to think that Deadpool's one of the characters, that is truly about inclusivity, and I think movies that we see need to reflect the real world. regardless of your sexual orientation, your sex, your color, your anything. I just think the movies need to, and we don't need to be making a big deal about it or patting ourselves on the back. I think it all needs to be up on the screen. It's life. It's what you gotta do. So, let's bring on a Mexican superhero. There's a lot of them out there, so let's do it.
Hi, this
Hello.
question is for Ryan. Will you ever be in a movie where Deadpool and Green Lantern team up together and you play the role of both of them?
Spoiler alert. That sounds like fun. That sounds really expensive. You know, the Deadpool suit is super cheap compared to a totally computer-generated onesie. So maybe, I don't know, that'd be fun.
What about your twin brother Gordon?
Oh yeah, Gordon would be great. What an asshole.
This question's for Ryan.
Right?
What is your favorite part of playing as Deadpool?
My favorite part playing Deadpool, I like, that anything's possible with this guy, and I think his secret weapon is his heart. At the end of the day, he's the guy that filters his pain through a prism of humor, and I relate to that. That's something I've done since I was a little kid, and I love that in his world anything's possible. Like, he can say or do anything. I love Deadpool, not just I live, eat, and breathe and sleep it when we're doing it. I love the marketing of it. I love every aspect of it. So for me, it's truly a dream job, and I think people like to see people having a good time and sort of living their purpose in some way, in any way, shape, or form that is, and I feel like I get to do that with Deadpool.
Was one of the best movies like I've ever seen in my life, the entire cast. Also, a question for Ryan. What was your first reaction when you saw them baby legs on you? Like when you first saw them, what was your reaction?
Starting to regret some of the swearing I've done lately. Is everyone under 15? The baby legs, to be honest, that was CGI. So I didn't actually lose my lower half. But the baby legs were made. The first time I saw them and they were finally done, it was actually the week we released the film. So the week we had to sort of lock pictures. So that was one of the last things that we got done. And I have a little girl, and I kept saying that the legs need to look like those. So in a way, it just got weirder. Yeah.
His note was they need to be cuter, right? Didn't you say they need
Yeah, they just need to be like innocent and cute, and like I don't know. The first couple iterations, Dan Glass, our visual effects coordinator, he made them sinister. I was like, who hurt you?
We were playing with textures on them, and like, is it going to be burnt when the legs come back? Do they come back burned? And it was all, they were like grotesque.
No, they were like
sinister.
But you know what? It's funny. It was we remember we had this conversation because we had this big concern that there's just a tiny little, just a flash of baby balls. And I was so worried that like the MPAA was going to say, oh, you guys are X-rated for that. And I was going to have to go down there, because you can go down there and kind of arbitrate these things and convince them that those were my balls. And that makes this a rated R movie. So circle gets the sweater, guys. That was a big concern of mine, but they ended up just kind of, they didn't notice. Maybe they didn't have to give all the box office back or something now. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hello. Hey guys.
Digress.
My name's Luke. I'm literally trying not to freak out right now, but I just want to say thank you to all of you guys, and a special thanks to Ryan, because people tell me I look like you, and it's like the world's greatest compliment.
It's like looking in the mirror right now. Freaking me out.
To ask, exactly, like, I know there's this extra long cut, how much of this movie is improvised?
It's funny, like, it's not as improvised as you think. A lot of the stuff, Rhett, Paul, and I, we wrote no less than 60,000 drafts of this thing. There was an early draft of Deadpool 2 that the entire plot was Deadpool trying to steal the big red chair from The Voice.
That's the truth.
So
That's
you
not
can
a
see how
joke,
much
that's the
time we
truth.
wasted.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff is like, I'll write like 5, 6, sometimes 10 alts for one joke, and then I'll look at them on my phone. So I mean, half the cast probably thinks I'm constantly like texting in the middle of scenes, but I'm actually looking at alt jokes and stuff like that. So a lot of them was written before. Some of them Rhett and Paul will write. We'll just text back and forth. They'll text me sometimes in the middle of a scene, and I'll be like, how am I supposed to see that in the scene? But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. There's a ton of that, and then there's some improv too. Sometimes just things happen.
But I was surprised because when I took it, I thought we would have more improv when I started. You know, I thought that was the process, but then
take that stage.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, high school really, it's just really a non-stop horror show, but it'll end. Yeah.
The rest of your life is not high school.
Yeah, it gets better.
But before that, it gets worse. Yeah.
It's time to fight something.
Yeah. I was there until like I was 24 or so.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
No, I would say this is a kind of a Buddhist tenet, but no feeling is final. So when you're down in high school, and God knows we've all been there, and it's just know that feeling will pass, and there will be better times ahead. You got a long life to live, so.
Conversely, you may be peaking there. Some people peak right there, and then after, straight down. So you want to take a lot of pictures and stuff when you're there. And I have kids, by the way. Yep, sure do. They're gonna be fine.
The next question is actually for the directors, and I was wondering what they look for while they're casting for movies.
It's kind of, you look for talent. No, I have one of my, Jim Mangold's one of my mentors, and he directed Logan. I don't know if you guys know who Jim Mangold is. And he did say this thing to me once about casting, and he's like, cast the man. And what he was trying to say is like, there's something that's innately in the person that you want to come through to the character. And I think it's like, it's probably one of the reasons maybe Deadpool works so well with you, Ryan. It's like, there's part of you in him and him in you, and you know, I think so. I try and find that quality in the person as well as their ability to perform a character. So that's all I got.
Hit it.
My question's for Ryan, but the other cast members can answer as well. But
Oh shit. Something's coming, I can see it.
if you'll let me finish. If you could be any superhero besides Lady Deadpool, who would it be?
Did you say besides Lady Deadpool? God, I love her. Wow. That's a ton. Which like other superhero would I be? I sort of did that, you know. Yeah. I love Wolverine, but God, I'd be terrible. I don't know. I would probably early on I wanted to be the Flash as well. I always liked the Flash. It's a fun character. The Wally West Flash. I always loved. So, but you know that ship is passed. To be honest, I think we all can agree that that's never going to happen. You guys? Any of you guys?
Well, definitely the Punisher. Or as a villain, I would like to play Kraven the Hunter.
That'd be a great fit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hermione for me.
Wow.
Kind of fill the space. We're running really behind, so just next. I managed the time very poorly.
Quick brief comment. I just want to say, Zazie, your portrayal of Domino is like one of my favorites. She is one of my favorite Marvel characters. Period. Notice I didn't say female, just period. She's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is for the creators of the show. I know it was a long road to get Deadpool, drum up the interest for it, and get it up and running. So I just want to know, was it incepted in your mind for Ryan to play Deadpool from day one? Because the comics mentioned that Deadpool says he's Ryan Reynolds mixed with a Sharpay. And then Ryan, what did you do to train to dig deep into evoking your inner Sharpay to get ready for the role?
Well, I mean, it's in a long road. I mean, Rhett and Paul could probably speak to the process of just making the first movie and getting it greenlit if you want to talk about that.
Well, I mean,
I'll get onto
obviously,
the dog part.
origin should happen, right? So, and I think Ryan's feeling was that wasn't the best representation of the character, and let's try again. And so, but you came to us, you hired us. So, Paul and I got hired by Ryan, who was a producer and the star who was going to play Deadpool. And then we embarked on about a 6.5, 7 year painful, crawl over broken glass uphill both ways to get this thing made. And again, we really do owe it to you guys and to your reaction to the leaked footage, to the leaked screenplay, to everything we leaked. Actually, we didn't do it. Easy.
Security.
So it was like a little bit of a feedback loop. I think the studio started to understand what they had on their hands the more they heard the masses chanting, one more time, which is what they did after they watched the trailer a couple summers ago. That infectious joy from you, buoyed us and carried us to the theaters.
I have a question though. Were you inspired by your name in the comics? Or was that just coincidental? Or I never knew this story.
You bring up a good point. I think the comic was in 2004. At least that's when I read it, and I was just kind of blown away because I read that and it felt like a weird Destiny thing because I just loved the character, and then suddenly my name was in there, and it was just super weird. But yeah, I didn't think that dream would actually come true. I mean, particularly by year 80, I was sort of losing hope, but here we are. So yeah. I see a Deadpool, a Juggernaut. This is like amazing.
Alright, this question is for Deadpool, and first of all, I thought that bringing in a kid to be the main villain was amazing. And my question is, how did you come up with that idea?
I feel like 90 movies have done it before us. Really? So we thought that was fresh. I don't know. No, I mean, like, we love the idea of having a kid in the film forces Deadpool sort of into that heart space that we really want, and it puts a lot on the line, I think, emotionally for the audience and for Deadpool. And, Deadpool, at the end of the day, and particularly, I think that's one of his codes. He would never harm a kid, and he's a morally flexible guy that sort of doesn't always do the right thing, but with kids, it's sort of, that's where he draws the line. So, for us, it was about stakes, and that kid really presented Deadpool with amazing stakes. And also, Julian Dennison did a movie called Hunt for the Wilder People, which Taika Waititi did. It's like the greatest movie. And so few people in the United States have seen this film, so do yourselves a favor. If you haven't seen it, check this movie out. It's one of the best movies you'll ever see. Does anyone else, one of the other X-Force members, have it's so nice to see the alive ones here.
How you doing? This question is for the panel. Did you guys kill off Juggernaut? Is he coming back? I mean, we just seen him go in the water, and then I'm hoping his hand, or he walks out. Do you think he's gonna come back? And you guys gonna bring back Logan? Try to get him back?
Wow. Well, I can speak to the Juggernaut part of it. I think you got to watch closely on the Blu-ray, and you'll see. If you watch closely to the end frame, you'll get your answer. As for Logan,
yeah, I don't know. I saw Logan. There was so much death there. So much death. I don't know.
He was bleeding out pretty bad.
Yeah, he was bleeding out pretty bad. And also, at the beginning of Deadpool 2, we get to live that again. On a little tiny music box, which I should probably give to Hugh because it's really inspired by him. But I don't know. I have a vision board at home, and it's just shots of Hugh Jackman in various poses. So all I want is Logan to come back. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see. Maybe. You never know. You never know.
Hi, Wade.
Hello.
This is a question for everyone, but I would like to see Zazie say something, breathe, anything, make a face at me. What is Josh Brolin like?
I'll answer this one, I guess. Josh Brolin is just a dude. He's awesome. He's really funny. And he, when I was sitting in a corner cowering because I was worried about delivering my lines well, he came over and he was like, "You're good, girl." So he's great. I really appreciate who he is and who he will continue to become.
Hi guys, so I want to say, Brianna, I really love your performance as Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I loved seeing the relationship with you and Yu-Gi-Oh! That was really, really great to see on screen. And as someone who identifies as bisexual, I was wondering if there's going to be more representation that you guys have included, especially in regards to Wade's pansexuality.
Do you want to jump in first, or do you want to?
I mean, I don't know that I have the answer to that.
Well, we talked about Wade, so you should have known. If you want, I don't know if you want to speak to anything that I love that you identified with that. You said something that you loved, and I certainly think that this universe, again, like I said earlier, needs to represent and reflect the real world in very real ways. So yeah, I mean, and the great thing about Deadpool is that we're allowed to do things that other superhero movies don't necessarily do, and that is probably one of them. So it's something I would love to see more of, certainly through Wade, certainly through this universe, because we're building it out still, and it's something that we get to. We have a lot of tools in the shed that we get to play with, and I don't know. We had that conversation early on about putting that up on the screen, and I wanted to talk to Brianna about it, and I just love how that all sort of transpired. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan sent me an email, and he was like, "We're thinking about giving Negasonic a girlfriend. What do you think?" And I was ecstatic about it. I thought it was amazing. And not that I didn't trust these amazing writers and also Ryan, because obviously they know what they're doing. But my request was just that, it just be the way it is. It not be made a big deal. It just be, she has a girlfriend now, and now they're kicking ass. And I think they rolled that out beautifully, and yeah, I think it worked out great.
Okay. Time for one last question.
Hi. First of all, I want to say the movie is super duper fucking awesome. Thank you very much for that.
Language.
Language. As a person with vitiligo, I noticed the way that Domino is in the movie. It kind of looks like a person with vitiligo. Was that the intention all along, or was it just how it came out?
Well, that was actually a really, really long process of trying to figure out if we would go with her more traditional look of having the tattoo over her eye, or sort of making it feel more like it's like a natural or something. Yeah, vitiligo was sort of an inspiration of it, and kind of an attempt, I think, to also sort of, normalize that. That's what, we decided. That actually also came from, I don't know who thought of that idea first.
Dave, Kelly actually was one of our producers had brought it up, and we were looking at we pitched it to the concept artist, and we were doing a lot of different tweaks at that time and makeup tests and things, and I just thought it was a fresh idea, and to make it feel more part of her and just humanize her and less of a caricature and just more of a human being. So we loved it.
Yeah. So.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. I want to thank our panel for being. Guys, check out the Super Duper Effin' Cut August 7th. But before we let you go, there's one final clip. You guys have heard so much about this one. It's Deadpool in Germany in 18.